There is a certain kind of woman. She lingers not in the body, but in the memory. Not in the home, but in the shadow of a man's dreams. She is not angry. Not loving. Not cruel. Not kind. She is simply absent. And for that very reason, she becomes unforgettable. Have you ever wondered why the emotionally detached woman has the power to haunt a man more than the one who stayed, loved, cried, or even screamed? Why is it that the woman who walks away without a tear, the one who offers no closure, no explanation, no storm, leaves the deepest mark? This isn't just a modern dating phenomenon. This is a psycho-spiritual riddle, etched deep in the collective unconscious. And as the Swiss psychiatrist Carl Gustav Jung once wrote, that which we do not bring to consciousness appears in our lives as fate. Tonight, we dive into the archetype of the emotionally detached woman, the anima in shadow form, and why she lives rent-free in the psyche of men, sometimes for a lifetime. This isn't about manipulation. This isn't about games. This is about ancient psychological forces at play. She is not a person. She is a mirror. A phantom. An initiation. And the man who fails to decode her presence, will find pieces of her in every woman he meets thereafter. In Jungian psychology, every man carries within him an inner feminine, the anima. She is not merely a romantic fantasy. She is the embodiment of a man's deepest emotional truths, longings, and unconscious desires. When a man encounters a woman who appears emotionally distant, cool, or even indifferent, something ancient is triggered. It is not her detachment that captivates him. It is what her detachment activates within him, the projection of the unintegrated anima. She becomes a screen onto which he casts everything he doesn't yet understand about his own emotional world. He may say, "She doesn't need me. She's in control. She's above it all." But what he truly means is, "She stirs in me something I cannot name, and yet cannot ignore." In her silence, he hears the echo of something unfinished within himself. Jung wrote extensively on this. He warned that until a man becomes conscious of his anima, he will continue to seek her outside of himself. In muses, lovers, and especially in the emotionally elusive woman. And here's the paradox. The more distant she is, the more she reflects the vast emotional distance within the man himself. She becomes a living symbol of the part of him that has never been nurtured, never been claimed. Not because she withholds anything, but because he has not yet learned to receive it from within. The emotionally detached woman is not merely a person, she is a mystery. And the masculine psyche is magnetically drawn to mystery, especially the kind it cannot solve. In ancient mythologies, the hero never falls for the woman who gives herself easily. He is always ensnared by the Sphinx, the sorceress, the high priestess, the one who speaks in riddles, or says nothing at all. Why? Because she awakens his need to pursue meaning, not just affection. In modern terms, the emotionally detached woman embodies what the philosopher Jacques Lacan called, the lack that causes desire. Her emotional absence does not repel the man, it activates him. It makes her seem full of secrets. She becomes not who she is, but what he imagines her to be. The less she reveals, the more room his psyche has to project upon her. And projection is not harmless, it is ritual theater being played on the inner stage. Jung warned. When you see a woman who haunts you, you must ask not what she is, but what she represents in you. Emotionally detached women often carry the archetype of the dark anima. Not evil, but unclaimed. Not cruel, but untouched. She stirs in the man a divine unrest. She demands growth through discomfort. And in his quest to possess her, he is really attempting to reclaim the forgotten feminine within himself. But until he realizes that, he will chase her like a ghost through dreams, memories, and half-formed fantasies. Because he does not want her presence. He wants to resolve the ache of her absence. Why does she linger? Why, even after years, or decades, does her face flash in dreams, her voice echo in quiet moments, her absence still cut deeper than her presence ever did? Because what you met was never just a woman. You met a symbol. A fragment of your unconscious. A psychic puzzle you never solved. Carl Jung taught that the psyche does not forget its unfinished work. It returns. In symbols. In dreams. In the patterns of our relationships. The emotionally detached woman becomes a haunting not because of who she was, but because of what she refused to complete for you. She did not give you closure. She did not explain her silence. She did not let you save her. And most painful of all, she did not need you. And in this refusal, she forced you to face something deeper. The part of you that craves validation. The part of you that wants to be chosen to prove your worth. The part that still fears abandonment from the mother, the first feminine mystery. Jung said, loneliness does not come from having no people around you, but from being unable to communicate the things that seem important to you. The detached woman mirrors this very loneliness, not by isolating you, but by showing you the isolation already inside. Until the man brings this projection back into himself, until he recognizes that the ache is not for her, but for his own abandoned emotions, she will remain. Not in body, not in life. But in every relationship that feels incomplete. In every goodbye that feels too familiar. In every face that reminds him. She's not here, but you still are. So how does a man free himself from the ghost of the emotionally detached woman? Not by chasing her. Not by begging for answers she will never give. And certainly not by trying to replicate her through others. He must do something far more difficult. He must go inward, into the realm of shadows, where the anima waits not as a lover, but as a guide. In Jungian psychology, the anima is a bridge to the unconscious. She is not here to complete the man, but to initiate him. She is the gatekeeper of the soul. The whisper in dreams. The guardian of emotional truth. To reclaim the anima is to reclaim the sacred feminine within. The intuition he suppressed. The sensitivity he mocked. The vulnerability he feared would make him weak. Only by turning inward can he withdraw the projection from the woman who triggered it. He must ask. What emotion did she stir that I was afraid to feel? What part of me did I hand over to her, hoping she would complete it? This is not romantic. This is alchemical. The man begins to integrate. He becomes whole. Not hardened, but aware. No longer haunted by her. He becomes haunted by truth itself. And in this sacred return to himself, the phantom fades. She was never meant to stay. She came only to awaken. She disappears the moment you understand. She was never the mystery. You were. Esoteric insights and practical techniques for integration. Now that the mystery has been named, what do you do with it? Understanding the emotional detachment of the anima archetype is not merely a theory, it is an invitation. A sacred task, to alchemize projection into power, and longing into inner union. 1. Ritual of inner dialogue, active imagination. Carl Jung developed a method called active imagination, a bridge between the conscious and unconscious. Sit in stillness. Close your eyes. And invite her, this image of the detached woman, into your awareness. Do not chase her. Do not control the scene. Simply observe. Ask her. Why did you appear in my life? What did I project onto you? What feeling have I buried in your absence? Let her speak, not as a woman, but as a symbol. Write the dialogue. Reflect. This is not fantasy. This is psychoalchemy. 2. Embrace the feminine within. Practice listening, not just to others, but to your own emotional currents. The masculine often seeks solutions. The feminine waits in stillness. To integrate the anima, engage in practices that soften you. Journaling, especially stream of consciousness writing. Dream work, recording and interpreting symbols. Creative flow, art, music, poetry. These are not hobbies. These are the language of the soul. 3. Sever the psychic cord, energetic release. Many men carry the energy of a past woman like a ghost clinging to their aura. A simple ritual. Light a candle. Write a letter, not to send, but to release. Say all that was left unsaid. Then burn the letter and whisper. I call back all parts of me I gave to you. I release you from my story. And I walk back into my wholeness. You are not erasing her. You are reclaiming you. Closing reflection. The emotionally detached woman is not a curse. She is a catalyst. She arrives in a man's life not to stay, but to awaken. And those who dare to meet her as a symbol, who follow the thread she pulls within them, who turn inward instead of chasing outward, they find something far more eternal than desire. They find their soul. And that is a haunting no longer, but a homecoming.